Hello everyone, welcome. Today I'm going to be making some giant sentiment cards. The cards themselves are my usual A2 sized cards, which is 5.5 by 4.25, but the sentiments are going to be quite large. So the sentiments are kind of the focal piece of today's cards. These are Glimmer hot foil plates, so we're going to be doing a little bit of glimmering today, but there are 6 different sentiments. I have 3 of them here. The first one said, "A giant thank you." This next one says, "Little card, big hello." I just love the sentiments on these. And then here is the third one. And this one says, "This card is full of hugs." I'll leave the links for all 6 of these Glimmer hot foil plates if you want to check them out. In this release, there's also a stencil and a coordinating die. So I just wanted to show you what these look like on the front of an A2 sized panel. They do take up a lot of real estate. So the thing about these cards is I had to come up with a fun background to make these fun to look at, to make them into eye candy. I'm not going to show much of the glimmering. I just wanted to show you the reveal here on this gold one. I also tried out some rainbow foil. I wasn't worried about getting these plates perfectly centered. That's a challenge for me because I knew I was going to cut these panels down just a little bit. But I taped it to my paper, and this is the specialty paper, the Glimmer specialty paper from Spellbinders. I find that it works the best. Let me show you the reveal on this rainbow piece. I had a lot of fun glimmering these. I didn't have my magnetic pickup tool, so I just flopped it onto the silicone mat. I also tried foiling onto a piece of their acetate, and it's wonderful acetate. It doesn't warp at all. And I glimmered this with some hot pink. And then let's pull off the rainbow foil. And this looks really pretty too. So I created most of my panels off camera. Let me show you all of them. I'm not going to be using all of these on this particular video anyway. But I also foiled them in purple and blue onto the colored cardstock. For card number 1, I'm using my first glimmered panel, and I'm going to be putting some ink on top of this panel. The great thing about Glimmer hot foiling is that it resists the ink. So I'm going right over the top of it. I'm going to blend yellow, pink, and orange. This is going to be a really fun, bright background. And it doesn't hurt the foil at all. I will bring in a tissue and just kind of wipe it off. I don't even know if that's necessary. It's still so shiny and pretty. So now let's put down some orange. I'm using some positively saturated inks for this, and it blends very well on the specialty paper from Spellbinders. I'm just kind of going back and forth between these 3 colors. I want to get a good blend. I'm going to take it all the way out to the edges of the paper because I wasn't sure how much of this paper I needed. I knew I was going to cut it down, but I didn't know how much yet. That pink sure takes over. But it is really pretty. I decided to use a Spellbinders oval die. This is their postage edge ovals, and cut out this panel. So I'll take this off camera, run it through my Platinum 6, and here it is ready to go. I also used some of the leftover paper to cut out some flowers. Now I can put this card together. These make really fast cards. So I'm using a piece of hot pink cardstock. This is the Fruit Punch from Spellbinders. On top of this, I'm using an embossed panel. This is the new Sunshine cardstock. And then everything's just going down flat. So I'm just using the Spellbinders dot liner to attach all of these panels together. Actually, that yellow cardstock is called Sun-Kissed, not Sunshine. But I love how bright yellow it is. And now for the flowers. I'll use liquid glue behind these, and I'm just going to put a bunch on the front of this card. I wanted them to match the background a little bit. I used the January large die of the month club to cut out these flowers. It's called Club Blooms. And this one sold out really fast. I don't know if they have this one in stock or if they replenished their stock on this one. I hope they do because it was so popular. But Spellbinders has so many beautiful floral dies that anything would really work on this card. So, like I said, some of these flowers I used the leftover blended panel to cut them out. And some I just used cardstock. I used Rainforest for the green, Fruit Punch for the pink, and more of the Sun-Kissed for the yellow. Next, I'll add some Spectrum AB gems on this panel. These are perfect gems for this because they kind of pick up and reflect the colors that are around them. And then this card is all done. Let me show you a close-up look at this. I did add quite a few gems, but here it is, all done. I just love that sentiment. The font is so cute. For card number 2, I'm going to be using the blue panel, and I cut this out using one of the 4-petal dies. I'm putting a piece of dark blue cardstock down first. I believe this one's called Indigo, and then the lighter panel I embossed, and I'm putting that down on top. This one is called Cosmic Sky. And now for my sentiment, and again, everything's going down flat with dot liner, except for the flowers, which I'm going to use liquid glue to attach. I'm using complementary colors on this one. I have the blue and the orange. They look so lovely together. I'll just stick some flowers where there's room on this panel, just to the sides. For this one, I'm using the Mini Blooms die set. This one, I believe, is still in stock. I love the smaller size of these flowers. They just worked perfectly on this card. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just kind of snip off the bits, or at least the stem that hangs off the side of it. This will just give it a more finished look. I'm not going to cut off the flowers that hang over, but just the stem. On this card, I'm going to use some teal gems. Let's add one more at the top here. Here we go. And here's a close-up look at card number 2. What a fun sentiment to send out to somebody. Card number 3, I'm using some purple colors. First, I have the plum, which is a deep, dark purple, and I'll put that on my card base. Next, I have Lilac Blossom, which I cut out using a rectangle postage die. And then my third panel, I just cut out with my paper trimmer. So again, I'm going with complementary colors. I have the purple and yellow flowers. I'll put 3 at the top left corner, just using liquid glue, and 3 at the bottom right corner. For this card, I'm using the Garden Builder dies from the Country Road collection by Annie Williams. This is a really fun set because there are dies included in this set for every season of the year. I had a lot of fun creating these cards, just mixing and matching some of my die sets from Spellbinders. For this card, I'm going to use some Prism AB gems around the panel. These gems have a kind of a purplish tone to them, so they worked out really well for this card. I'm just going to put them around the flowers. Here is a close-up look at card number 3. I really love sentiment-driven greeting cards. And the sentiments in this collection are just fabulous. So I'll leave the links to all of the products that I used in the description box if you want to look at those. I hope that you were inspired to create some sentiment-driven greeting cards using the supplies that you have already in your stash. They are so much fun to create. I hope you have a wonderful crafty day. Bye!